Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. Now in its 11th season, this inspiring show brings together powerful voices and conversations designed to help you lead with purpose and live with intention. Rebecca is the CEO of RHG Media Productions, founder of Your Purpose-Driven Practice, and international best-selling author, co-host of the Women Rising TV show series, and a media personality who has been featured on ABC, NBC, Fox, Huffington Post, and Thrive Global. Now, here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. Honored to be connecting in with you. And we've got a beautiful show lined up for you today, especially for those of you who are in a transition of sorts, or perhaps you're questioning things and really looking at, where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? How can I line up things in myself and in my life and in my business in a way that feels supportive of me? Because I find so many of us struggle with self-doubt at times, burnout at times, and we have collected two amazing guests that are coming forward to really help us address those things and give us a bit of a guide, some steps we can take to help us really be ready to rise and take those steps in a sustainable way. How exciting is that? I think we all can use those tips and tools to have with us along our path in life to really help us move forward in a powerful, positive, and sustainable way. And I find life has twists and turns. Perhaps some of the things and ways we approach things before are no longer working. Perhaps we've grown, changed, the dynamics around us have. And it's important to continue to find ways to help us rise up, to navigate forward, to really shine in the ways that we are uniquely created, that we are becoming, growing, and able to bring to the world. So I hope you're as excited as I am. And to really help us drink in everything that's available today, I want to invite you to take a moment and pause, slow down, kind of remove all those distractions from you that can pull at you. This is your time, an opportunity for you to be poured into. And all you need to do is receive, to be open, present, and ready to receive. Maybe leaning in with curiosity as to what you can learn and add to your toolbox. As you are clearing away distractions, I invite you to take a deep breath in through your nose, all the way to your toes. Wiggle your toes. Make sure they're getting air. Beautiful. And breathe out through your mouth like through a straw. Taking another beautiful breath. Closing your eyes. You're absolutely safe. And as you're breathing, eyes closed, tuning in, I invite you to put both hands on your heart. And notice that beat of your heart. And then as you notice that, notice there's a little pause in between each beat. In that still space, pause by pause. What is your heart whispering to you? What is your heart sharing with you today? What is it that you need and are willing to receive? What is it reminding you of? What are you willing to receive? Because you absolutely have choice. Beautiful. Receive that information. Take another deep breath. Open up your eyes, fully present. Move your shoulders a little bit. Let's make sure you're fully back in your body. We want you here with us. Beautiful. And take a moment and write down what was laid on your heart. What bubbled up, came forward when you stopped and listened. So often we miss that wisdom and encouragement because we're moving so fast. There's so much around us pulling our attention. We can miss that still, quiet voice. And yet it can have such encouragement, wisdom, and hope for us. So let's write that down, capture that information, and keep that paper in front of you so you can take notes throughout our time together today, because I know there's going to be a lot of rich wisdom, insight, and tools that we're going to be able to add to our toolbox today. So as we go around our virtual room in this heart space, I'd love to have each of our guests just take a moment and share what was laid on their heart when they took a moment to stop, pause, and listen. Shequana, I'd love for you to share what was on your heart.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. What was on my heart was abundance.
Love it.
And that's what came to me, and it felt very right.
Oh, I love you attached a feeling to it. Thank you. When you said it, it just felt really good to me. I love that it felt bright to you, abundance. I love that. Thank you. Noelle, how about you? What was laid on your heart?
I love that. And honestly, that breath work just brought me right into my body and into this moment, just feeling very present and grateful to be here, just reminding myself how far I have come. So thank you for that. It's just such a beautiful way to feel grounded as we start today.
Wonderful. Thank you. I love that. It's so powerful, and we can come back into our body and then we realize how far we go from it sometimes. and being present, being able to really see, where we are, look around a little bit and acknowledge that and celebrate it and appreciate it. I love that. Thank you. Listeners, how about you? What did you notice? How did it feel? Abundance and really being present and acknowledging where you're at. How did this feel? What are you noticing coming forward? As we go to our first commercial break here, I invite you to stay present, really receive everything that's coming forward, and we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow Voice America at facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com and make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or would like to connect with Rebecca or today's guest, we'd love to hear from you. You can email Rebecca at Rebecca@yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. You can also find free resources, empowering articles, and inspiration through Continue the Momentum and RHG Magazine, created to help you keep moving forward in your purpose. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that opportunity to just be listening to your heart. How beautiful is that? See what it reminds you of, what it's sharing with you. And as we continue our conversation, I encourage you to keep going back to that heart place, that centered space. And as we share, see what it's reminding you of, how it's connecting with your heart. Those little pulls that you feel, write those down. Those are great things to reflect on, to integrate, to go back to. So be listening for those little heart pulls throughout our time together today. I'm excited to introduce our first guest. You got to hear on a heart level in our opening segment. Noelle is a lifestyle and community curator, certified life coach, mentor, author, and host of the Rise to Shine podcast, founder of the Shine House, a global virtual community, and the Rise to Shine Collective, an in-person community. She's also the co-host of Women Rising Palm Springs and is passionate about helping you become the favorite version of you. I love that. Let's lean in and welcome the powerful and dynamic and heart-centered Noelle Kustas to the show. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. I'm so honored to be here with you today.
I am thrilled to have you joining us. And as I was getting ready for today and reading a little bit about how you love to come alongside women, I just got excited. I know we're in for a treat. Yeah. And I'd love for you to share why. Why is this work that you do in all these different communities, all these different formats that you do? Why is it important to you to impact and help women in these ways?
Gosh, such a beautiful question to start off with. And really, when I think about this and pinpoint it, I do this work because I know what it feels like to lose yourself in roles and responsibilities, all of the expectations that we have as women. And I also know what it feels like to find your way back from that. And I have lived a lot of moments that have cracked me wide open and have kind of forced me in a way to choose differently and to be able to rebuild and rise and see myself in a new light. So now I feel like I can't unsee that. So for me, it is about showing other women what is possible for them. I want them to see themselves the way that I see them and finding their strengths and their potential, just what's waiting for them on the other side, even when they don't see it in themselves. So it really is who I am, who I have become, and I just love helping women reconnect with themselves.
Thank you for sharing that. I can feel your passion and your heart in this. And I love that those moments where you have been broken, you have been able to harness wisdom and love and keep coming forward, keep rising up. And now I feel you reaching your hand out to help others do the same.
Yeah.
It's really, really beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm curious, as you look back on your life, and I know you mentioned moments that have broken you, is there one in particular that stands out that really changed things for you, changed the course for you?
Yes, there certainly is. And, you know, when I think about it, I think there are moments in life that split everything into this before and after. And for me, that moment came several years ago. It was on a Mother's Day of all days. I had been with my husband for 19 years and we had two beautiful children. But unfortunately, what had started somewhat early on in our relationship was some emotional abuse. It slowly started to escalate over time. And I say that because I never thought that would be my story. I always considered myself a strong woman. And yet there I was just losing myself in ways I didn't even recognize until I was so deep inside of it. So on that Mother's Day night, everything escalated in the most terrifying way. And what had been years of emotional abuse became physical. And it happened right in front of our 4-year-old son. It was terrifying, as I said, but in that moment, something very primal took over. And as I was able to get up, my son was right there next to me and I felt his little hand clutching in mine and he was shaking. He was so confused. And then I noticed my daughter fresh out of the shower. She was standing in the doorway and I just knew we had to go. We had to go right then. So I grabbed them. We ran to the car. I drove away as he was running after us. And I honestly had no idea where to go. I just drove. And eventually I pulled into this quiet street and I parked. I was hiding between rows of cars and I just shut off all of the lights and I sat there in the dark with them, not knowing what I was going to do next. And they were crying, obviously, in the back seat. And I just remember telling them, it's going to be okay. I promise. Even though I wasn't sure yet. But what I did know is that my life was forever changed from that moment on. And I learned that transformation doesn't happen by chance. It begins with a choice. And, that choice looks different for all of us, for every single woman out there. But, it could be leaving like what I had to do. It could be walking away from a career, a friendship, just finding a different version of yourself. But I definitely say that it was a moment that changed me forever. And I am so grateful that I did not wait for tomorrow any longer, that I recognized very quickly by unfortunate circumstances that my tomorrow could be that day. And that is certainly what was the pivotal moment in my life.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing. I'm so sorry that happened. And I'm so glad you were able to leave and protect your children and go and, it would be okay. And you've continued to make those choices and step forward. And I know today you are a lifestyle and community curator. And I'd love for you to explain, what is that? Because I think it brings different thoughts to our mind, but I'd love for you to explain in your words what that is and why that's important for people to get help in those areas.
Yeah. So I had spent over 25 years as a teacher and I genuinely loved it. But what ended up happening is after the pandemic, I felt a calling to step away and do something different. I didn't really have an exact plan, but with the pivotal moment that had happened years prior, and then after the pandemic, I just, like I said, felt a huge calling that I knew I needed to be working with women. And eventually my path led me to become a certified life coach. And as I dove deeper into that work, I realized I wasn't just coaching. I was actually gathering practices and tools and just different communities and experiences. And I started to weave them together in a way that was unique for each woman, because I know that we don't all live in the same box. And that's what hit me as I realized I'm not just a coach, I'm actually a curator. And believe it or not, that word just kind of elevated and changed everything, because to me, lifestyle curation is really about the art of living, how we show up every day, how we take care of ourselves and love the people around us, and how we actually want to feel in our own lives, because I want women to create lives that feel as good on the inside as they look on the outside. And then the community side of it, that's where my heart really lives. And I've always believed that transformation happens in the right rooms. So I always say I love to curate ecosystems for women, just spaces where women feel safe enough to finally be fully themselves. So that is the sweet spot for me. And that's what the curator word really means in my world.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I love that we can have, feel great on the inside, because I think there is such a focus on the outside sometimes, and it doesn't always match what's going on the inside. So I love that perspective that you have of really bringing those together for people in such a powerful way. And I know that can take a lot of work and a lot of choices, and there's reinvention that can happen on that journey, like your journey.
Right.
And I'm curious, as people approach these transformational spaces, this reinvention, I feel like fear can come up sometimes, trying to keep us safe because we're going somewhere we haven't gone before. How do we come through that? How do you help people trust themselves to take those steps to come through that, and even how you did it on your journey and continue to?
Yeah, I mean, fear is definitely a huge word that we, and not just a word, but something that we absolutely go through. And I feel that, both of the reinventions that I spoke of, with the pivotal moment of leaving and then also leaving my career after 25 years, it really taught me that fear never fully goes away. You just get better at choosing courage no matter what. And I, feel like it was not about just rebuilding my life, but rebuilding me, because sometimes we lose ourselves so completely that we don't know who we are anymore. And that journey, it can be messy, it can be beautiful and terrifying all at once. But the resilience is not about those easy moments. It's really built in for us through those messy moments of our lives. And so I feel like for women, we have to look at ourselves and really ask ourselves, what is it that we're not listening to? What is it that we are just deciding is okay for us? And I feel like it's okay to choose something different, even if we are, for me, I was in my 40s, I'm now in my 50s. And I just feel like it's one of those things that when we really can sit with ourselves and reflect on that and give ourselves permission to evolve, that is really what makes all of the difference.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And I love that. What are we willing to choose? What are we willing to say no to shift forward in, really being not just what we can survive or tolerate, but what do we really want in our life to bring forward? And we are getting really close on time, and I know that we're just drinking in so much wisdom from what you're sharing in perspective. So I just wanted to share two things. Listeners, towards the end of the show, I promise we will give Noelle an opportunity to share all of her contact information, because we want you to be able to connect and go deeper. We'll have a time at the end of the show. And Noelle, as we get ready for this next commercial break, I wondered if you just had a quick thought or perspective or activity you would love to share with our listeners.
Oh, I love that. Well, I feel like, really it is all about just living in gratitude. And it always makes me smile when we can really get honest with ourselves. And women listening to really hear is life doesn't have to stay messy or status quo. It just does not. And I think so many women don't believe that yet. So I'm just living proof that it gets better. So much better. And the silver lining might not show up overnight. It'll show up in the small moments. So lean into that and just be grateful for the little things.
Beautiful. Thank you. Listeners, as we go to this next commercial break, I love that segue. Let's really take a moment to think about what are we grateful for today? What are, even if it's a little thing, it could be a great big thing, but let's take a moment and really hold those things in our heart that we are thankful for, and then write them down. That connects your heart and your hand directly when you write it down and reminds you, brings it forward instead of swirling around in you. It's now in reality and you're creating it. What are those things that you are thankful for? And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
A little birdie told me Voice America is on X. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you become a member yet? Sign up now to become a member of Voice America. It's always free and easy. Plus, you get to take advantage of some great member benefits. Get unlimited access to millions of hours of on-demand content across all of our channels. Keep track of your favorite episodes, shows, and hosts in your own customizable library. Find out what shows you might be interested in based on your favorites. Plus, you get insider access with our newsletter. Membership gives you more. Sign up at voiceamerica.com and click Register at the top right.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or would like to connect with Rebecca or today's guest, we'd love to hear from you. You can email Rebecca at Rebecca@yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. You can also find free resources, empowering articles, and inspiration through Continue the Momentum and RHG Magazine, created to help you keep moving forward in your purpose. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. And I hope you actually have multiple things that you've written on your page that you are grateful for. I'm grateful to have each of you tuning in and connecting with us today. It's such an honor and a privilege to be in this space with all of you, whether you're listening to the live broadcast or you're listening to the replay. Whenever we connect in, we're literally connecting in with each other. And I appreciate each of you connecting in with us, being part of our community, being part of women and men and people around the world coming together to support each other, to really lean into helping all of us grow and shine out in the world. So thank you for being part of our journey. And I'm excited to introduce our next guest. I know that you will enjoy meeting her, her heart, her energy, her spirit, and all that she has to share with us today. So Shequana Hughes is a wife, a mother of 5, an entrepreneur, and she knows what it's like to burn that candle at both ends and to come through that. For the past 10 years, her mission has been to help women break free from that grind of entrepreneurship, how it can be such a grind sometimes, and to help women break free and reclaim their time, their energy, and joy. She has helped women save thousands of administrative hours and on administrative tasks, and believes a business should never cost you your life. Please warmly welcome the powerful, the dynamic, and impactful Shequana Hughes to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Becca. I'm so excited to be here and to just be in this space. It's been amazing for these short minutes that I've been on here. It's definitely a vibe, I will say.
Well, I love that you love the vibe that we are creating together. I've been enjoying it as well, and excited to have you share your thoughts and wisdom with us. But I wanted to start with why. Why is this work of helping women entrepreneurs in this way so important to you?
The reason why this work is so important to me has a lot to do with myself. If everyone listened to the introduction, I have been a caregiver for most of my life, in one capacity or another. And being in the space of operations is basically my job. I have been able to be more selfish in running my business, being a mother and a wife and being all the things to everyone else, because I've curated a way or, a space where I can be selfish and do more for myself while creating systems around everything else that has to do with me.
Thank you for sharing that. And a couple of things are striking me. I was actually writing a note there as you were sharing, was this concept of selfish and how that's important to be able to do all the different things, all the systems you create, that an element of, I'm putting it in quotes even, I'm doing air quotes right now as we say it, selfish. Do you mind expanding a little bit of what that means? Because I think we have different reactions to that word.
When you are being pulled as a woman, like many of us are pulled in so many directions, you feel as though this is the way that it has to be. This is the way that it's supposed to be, when you're having to take care of everyone else. And when you create systems around your life and allow the technologies and the resources that are available to us today as entrepreneurs, as women, then you're able to allow other things to take care of some of the things that happen in your business, some of the things that goes along with your family, and you're able to focus on yourself. And you're able to do things for you because you're not being pulled in so many other directions. And so then you can be a little bit more selfish in allowing things to be handled for you, and you can focus on yourself. And so that's what I mean by that.
Yeah, thank you for expanding on that. And I'm just sitting for a moment and feeling, wow, if you're in that role of helping and pouring yourself out to so many people all the time, that's normal. How did it start to feel when you started to have that support things and have things done for you so that you could keep leading and doing the things you were choosing to do?
Oh my God. I felt like a magician almost when I got into that space where it was like, oh my God, I have, more time in my day. I can get up at 11 if I need to, or if I want to sleep in, I can do that. And then when I started to do that for other women, it was so fulfilling to be able to help other people be able to save time and take a load off and breathe a little bit more, to be able to do that. I mean, like, as women, I think we feel like we can't have it all, but we want it all. It's a feeling that we have. And when you're able to have it all, it is, I don't know, it's indescribable, I have to say.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And I know this didn't just magically happen overnight, and you didn't just one day say, I think I'm going to step into that space. What is some of the journey that you went on that has led to you being able to create this in your life and now help others do the same?
Oh, wow. I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. But again, I've been a caregiver for most of my life. And when I say most of my life, I mean like 10. I was like the oldest of, everything. I was the first granddaughter, the first niece, the first everything. So when other people started to have children, I was like helping and that kind of thing. And so it's just been a part of me and been my life for most of my life. And at one point, I wasn't getting any sleep and I wasn't able to breathe. I wasn't able to do anything. And I was like, something has to give, you know, whether it be in my business, whether it be in my life. And I was helping other business owners, or that was my job because I was a virtual assistant. And so I started to feel like I wasn't really helping them because we were all running around like, chickens with our heads cut off. And I had to stop and say, okay, what can I do to actually help these people? What can I do to actually, fulfill what I set out to fulfill? And so I started to dig heavily into systems, automation, operations, and that. And it was just a complete game changer for myself, for my business, for my life, for my clients. And that's how I got here.
Well, thank you for sharing. And I love that you had enough presence in that to step back for a moment and see what was happening, and that it's really tapped into a superpower I believe you have around systemizing things. And so I'd love for you to share what is that, creating a system or automation? Why does that matter? What does that do for people?
Oh my gosh. What does systems and automation? Okay, one word: freedom. It gives people freedom. Freedom to choose, freedom to rest, freedom to be present with their families, freedom, financial freedom, because you can earn more when you have systems in place and organization in place. Just freedom. That's what I would say. It gives people freedom. I used to say, like the buzzword, like get your time back and put more time in your day. But really, it's about freedom, being free.
Thank you. I love that. I lean into that. And I feel like that's something that will resonate with a lot of our listeners, being able to have that freedom. So more than time, more than energy, all those things too. But ultimately that freedom, I feel, is what so many of us are looking for. Beautiful. And I feel like this takes a lot of confidence to lead in, to have made the shifts that you have made. And one of the things we're going to talk about today is self-doubt and burnout. So I'm curious if there are moments that you struggle with, or some of your clients struggle with, around self-doubt, and how do you help them or yourself step back into courage and confidence?
I think that as women, I mostly work with women entrepreneurs. I do work with some men. But I think as women, sometimes we are afraid to let go because we feel like either someone's going to step into our spot, or we'll lose some of our power by doing that. And the way that I center my clients, I center myself and become more confident is I ask them, what do you want? Not what should you want, or what did someone else tell you you should want? What do you want? And I mean, like, out of a life. And confidence is great, and having confidence, but being able to let some of those things go, I think empowers us more when you're able to really step into your real power and be able to allow some people to come in, or some systems, or, technology to come in and help.
Well, I love that, having that clarity on what do you really want. And that to me also ties into what Noelle was sharing about too, really getting that clarity and choice. What do you want, period? And then building around your life around that. Not what do you think you need, or what people tell you should want, but really, what do you want? is a very powerful question.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thought I have as we are moving forward here, and I know the show is getting close to the next step here. We have commercial break coming up in a moment, but I'd really like for you to share if someone is in the middle of I figured out what I want. That's not where I'm at yet. So there's a pivot that is needed or a transition that's needed. What is a step or two they can take to start moving that direction?
They know what they want, deciding, because sometimes we know what it is that we want. We know that we need to take a step forward, but a lot of the time we stay in this middle of where we are and where we're trying to get. And we never, or sometimes we don't make a decision and say, I am going to move forward. I'm going to take that next step or that first step in getting to the other side or getting to what it is that I want. And I think that is the biggest thing with anything in life, really. If you're having an addiction or, you're dealing with, a relationship issue, deciding that you're going to get to that other side is the first step that you can take.
Thank you. So knowing and then deciding, and then it sounds like we start to take the actions, or do we start to build the plan? What's next?
Oh, that's good. Yes. Building the plan is next. So once you decide what it is that you want, once you make the decision and decide, then building a plan around that is going to be the next thing for you to do. Building that plan, taking that step. And I think mentorship and getting help and getting someone to help you with that is another great step after that planning process, or in addition to that.
Thank you. No, I think that's so important. I don't know where the myth started that we need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and do it on our own. I don't know where that myth came from. It's not true. We don't need to do that. We can have help if we can have support on the journey, and it can make such a difference. And when we allow that and bring that in, thank you so much for your sharing today. I need to go to our next commercial break. So listeners, which step are you in? Are you figuring out what you want? Do you know? Have you decided, yes, I am going to do that? Are you in the planning stage? Are you in the bringing in support stage? So as we go to this commercial break, really sit with that and see what step are you in, and look ahead at that next step of what can help you bring forward those things you want most. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Voice America is on LinkedIn. Connect with us today.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com, and make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or would like to connect with Rebecca or today's guest, we'd love to hear from you. You can email Rebecca at rebecca@yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. You can also find free resources, empowering articles, and inspiration through Continue the Momentum and RHG Magazine, created to help you keep moving forward in your purpose. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. Now, I hope on your page of notes you have many, many things that you look back to the beginning of our conversation of what your heart was sharing with you today that you needed, that you were willing to receive. That you wrote down some beautiful tips, perspective, and tools from what Noelle shared with us today. That you have, I hope, multiple points of gratitude that you have taken a moment to feel and to write down. And now with Shequana, that you have written down some steps or a plan or gotten perspective on where you are and kind of the next things that will help you move forward. Now, my tip, if I can add one on to all of this, is at the end of the show today, take a few minutes for you. Pause. Don't just rush off to the next thing. And when you pause, take a moment to really process those things that resonated with you, that pulled at your heart, that can serve you. And as you breathe those in, breathe them in deeply, pause, breathe out, release what no longer serves, creating room and space for more. And from that perspective, choose how you're going to step back into your day, who you're going to be as you step into the day. Because the day doesn't get to be in charge, you do. So take that time. Take those few minutes at the end of the show before you take that step forward back into the day. That's my tip. Now, I promised during Noelle's segment that we would make sure our guests shared their contact information because I want you to be able to connect with them to go deeper. We're being very deliberate in sharing this information so that you can have that support in your life. You can connect with people that resonate with you and can walk alongside you in your journey. So with that, I'm going to start with Noelle. Noelle, can you share your contact information, the best way for people to connect in and go deeper?
Absolutely. Well, my favorite place to find me is on Instagram at joyful_Noelle. Come say hi. I love connecting with women. And if you want to follow something really exciting, Women Rising America is a woman's lifestyle talk show that I'm really proud to be a part of. And we just wrapped filming season 1. So stay tuned, but follow along at Women Rising America on Instagram. And then, of course, I would be so honored if you tuned into the Rise to Shine podcast. It is a podcast for women to feel inspired and seen. And then my website, of course, is risetoshine.co. And I always love giving free gifts as well. So I do have a beautiful gift that I would love to share. So those are the best ways to be in touch.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And is the 2 written out or is it the number 2, if you don't mind?
Thank you for clarifying that. It is the number 2 in all of it. So Rise, number 2, Shine. You'll find the podcast, the website, and all of the things.
Perfect. I'll make sure everyone finds all of the things and can connect with you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Shequana, I'd love for you to share what is the best way for people to connect in, go deeper, and follow along things that you have that you're working on and bringing forward.
I think a great place for people to be able to find me and connect with me and get to know me and my personality is my YouTube page. And the name of it is A Black Girl and Her Sass. And there I share tips, and it's SAAS, 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 as in systems as a service because I am a tech girly and I share tips and strategies on implementing tech and automation into your business. Another super exciting thing that just happened is we just launched our AI workforce, your agentic squad, and you can go to thesavagroup.com, THESAV like Victor A group.com, and you'll find out all about our new AI workforce. So we my mission right now is not that no woman is left behind in this new technology AI space. And this is the first push for that.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations. That's very exciting, and can help so many. I appreciate it. And if somebody wants to reach out to you directly, is there a best way to do that?
Yes, they can email me at Shequana, SHEQUANA .Hughes, HUGHES at thesavagroup.com.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it. And listeners, I hope you wrote that down, and the replay will be available if you need to rewind any segment or want to sit with any of the parts of today's show that you want to sit with and really be present with. You can absolutely do that. Now, we have a few minutes here, so I'm going to go around the room and tap into our amazing wisdom one more time. So with that, Noelle, did you have just a quick thought, something that people can take with them as they get ready to do that pause first and then go back out into the day?
Absolutely. I always love to tell women to just be the woman your little girl always believed that you would become, and make her the favorite version of yourself. And I feel like when we walk in that space, we are so much kinder and gentler, and we love ourselves so much more when we remember that little girl inside of us.
Beautiful. I love that. Thank you. And that actually reminds me of a question we didn't have an opportunity to get to in the previous segment. Shequana, you had one around whispering to your younger self, something you would share. So I would love if you can take just a moment to share, if you could go back in time and whisper something to your younger self and share that message to you and to our listeners today. I'd love for you to share.
Oh, wow. I love this. Something that I would whisper to myself is to take your time, enjoy the moments. Take your time. I feel like I rushed a lot in life, and I wish I could tell her just to slow down.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love that. I have a quote on my wall, and it's by Always Evolving, is who's given the credit for saying it. I will never have this version of me again. Let me slow down and be with her. Mm-hmm. And that always brings calmness to my heart and perspective that I can choose to be present. And that's enough. And to really drink in what's going on around me. Thank you, Shequana. I appreciate it. And Noelle, I love how we're going back to these different parts of ourselves, bringing it forward to today. And listeners, as you get ready to go back out into the world, take these moments. You're worth it. You're valuable. You're needed. You're exactly where you are most needed for such a time as this. Honor that. Make the plans, take the steps, but also honor and have gratitude for where you are now with excitement and anticipation of where you will be going next on purpose and with great purpose and intention. As you go back out into the world, I encourage you to bloom where you're planted, to really share and shine out the gift of who you are with the world. That's the biggest gift we can give. But remember to give the gift to yourself as well. So remember, as you go back out into the world, bloom where you're planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone, and we'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.